Hi everyone, it's Ryan here from smartsportstrader.com, and in today's video I'm going to show you a very powerful football trading strategy. I'll go through 3 different ways that you can approach this strategy, and overall this video is just going to be packed full of value, so it should be a good one. Alright, so I just logged into my Betfair account as I just wanted to illustrate the strategy that I'll be talking about today, and it's pre-match trading for football, or you can call it pre-event trading, as you don't have to use it just on the football markets, you can use it on any markets. So it involves backing and laying, or laying and backing before the start of a game, closing your position before the start of a game to guarantee a profit is made. So I'll just show you how you can do this. This is the advantage of using betting exchanges. So when we lay a position, it means we're saying that they won't win. So let's say we lay Tottenham at 1.68 for £1,000, and then their odds drift throughout the day. Maybe there's some team news that comes out. Harry Kane might be missing, for example. And let's say they go to 1.67, and we put our £1,000 bet in. You can see here this creates a position where we can win £78.40 on Tottenham, but we'll break even if Southampton or the draw happens. And this is because of the fluctuation in the odds. This is the good thing about the betting exchanges, but we can also level this out so that we actually make a profit on all outcomes. There we go. So if I put in £9.55 there, you can see that we've got a profit of about £44 on every single selection. So yeah, this is what I'll be talking about in today's video. I want to show you 3 different angles that you can use to approach pre-match trading, and I'll show you some examples of how I've done it and how it all works. Alright, so the first approach I want to talk about is using team information to trade football matches. So when I'm talking about team information, it can be managerial changes, it can be player injuries, it could be a COVID outbreak in the squad, as obviously at the moment that can have a big effect and cause, very big fluctuations in the market. If a team has COVID, there could be several players out. So if you can get this information before the rest of the market, you don't have to be the first person to get this information. In a video that I made previously about using team information, somebody said, well, how am I going to use this information before a journalist gets it or before somebody in the club gets it? Well, you don't have to be, the first person to get it. You just need to act before the majority of the market, and that way you can make a profit. So just to highlight this, I'll show you a trade I made yesterday. So this was in the Manchester United versus Burnley game, and there were rumours that Ronaldo might not play, and I could lay Man United at that time at 1.61. And then I waited until the team information was released and Ronaldo wasn't playing, he was on the bench, and their odds went out to 1.67, and I was able to back them for £1,500, which was the same as my lay stake, and secure a guaranteed profit of £50 in that game. So this just shows, you don't have to be the first person. There was obviously people that knew that Ronaldo wasn't going to play, but it didn't affect the market until that news was concrete. So yeah, team information, still a very valid way of trading football and making money from it. Alright, so the next approach is looking at odds ranges with teams and also looking at patterns in the market. So I just brought up a trade that I've got, which is on the Man City versus Brentford game. And you can see that Man City are quite low odds against Brentford. They are 1.13 to back and 1.14 to lay. So yesterday I put in a lay position on Man City of £4,000 at 1.13. You can see here I've got a back bet of £4,000 waiting to be matched at 1.14. So if that back bet is matched, then I'll be able to secure a profit for a profit of around £34 on all outcomes. So I just wanted to talk about why I've made this trade and kind of explain what I mean by odds ranges. So with City, obviously, and any team, when you get these very low odds ranges, there's not too far that they can move really. If you look at the graph itself, you can see it's completely flatlined, but you see there's actually more money on the lay side than there is on the back side. And if it does move in, then I'll just take the hit and either exit it at 1.12 or I'll have a break-even position at 1.13. So for me, I just feel like there's more upside than downside in this trade. And there's a few other factors why I like this trade as well, so I'll just explain that. So if you look at the market as a whole, so this is Odds Portal, this will tell you the odds of Man City versus Brentford on several different bookmakers, but the one that I'm interested in the most is Pinnacle, as Pinnacle are the sharpest bookmaker for football, and generally Betfair's price will be similar to Pinnacle's, but you can see that Pinnacle have them at 1.13, and over the last few days, if you look at the history, the odds history, it's pretty much just bounced between 112 and 113, which makes me think that this position's pretty solid really. And even if it does go down to 112, then I'll still have the opportunity to try and get out at 113 anyway. And I just feel like it's much more likely to hit 114 than it is to hit 112, so that makes it a good value trade. And something else that I like to look at is historical odds of comparable teams. So if we look at Man City versus Burnley, I'd say Burnley are quite comparable to Brentford. Probably at the moment you'd say that Brentford are the better side, but back in October, Burnley might have been rated a little bit better by the market. But if we look at the price that Man City closed, they closed at 1.15. So that's above what the current price is. And again, that's just another factor that makes me think this is a good trade. Alright, so another trade that I have at the moment as well is on Ghent. Now this is more about market patterns rather than anything to do with odds ranges or even team information, because I don't know a ton about Belgian football. However, I noticed in this market there was really strong backing for Ghent early on. So this is still a few days away, but I could see that there was a lot of people trying to back Ghent. And when I looked at Odds Portal as well, I could see that was kind of across the board with Bookmakers. So sometimes when you see these really strong patterns, especially if it's a few days before a game, or it's in a market that doesn't attract that much money, it can be worth looking at. So you can see here I backed them at 214. I was only able to get £500 on. I couldn't get any more on at the time, but you can see this has really flown in. You can see there's still a lot of money trying to back Ghent. I don't know why this is. There could be some team news. You can see there's somebody trying to get £11,000 on Ghent at 1.87. So I could trade out of this right now for £70, but we're going to leave it till Saturday as this trend could continue. But yeah, sometimes you can just look out for market patterns, like things in the football markets, they occur over and over again. Like if you are into your horse racing or you've watched any videos about horse racing trading, you'll hear good traders talk about repeatable patterns in the market, and the exact same thing happens in football. You just kind of got to watch enough markets to become aware of it. Alright, so we've covered using team news, we've covered looking at odds ranges, and we've covered looking at market patterns to trade football profitably pre-match. So something else I want to talk about is reacting to live information which is going to affect future games. So I've heard Canberra call this parallel market intent, but just to give you a simple example, we know that Man City are playing Brentford tonight, and in this game, if you're watching it live, you see that De Bruyne gets injured, and then let's say two other key Man City players get injured and they all have to get taken off, and then there's a red card on 80 minutes for Man City. So all of those factors are going to affect the odds for their game at the weekend. So they're playing Norwich this weekend, and I believe the odds are about 1.18, 1.19. So if those things were to happen, then you know that the odds on Man City are going to drift, as the likelihood of them winning without a load of key players is less than with them. So if we were to lay them while we were watching the game, we see all of that happen, and we laid Man City, you would expect that you'd be able to then back them on the Sunday for a profit. So this is just something to be aware of if you're a football fan or you follow a team and you watch them regularly. Just be aware that what's happening live in those games can affect the odds for an upcoming game. So this could be a Champions League game, this can be a Premier League game. But yeah, this is a really good strategy. And if you can't get the money down on Betfair or any of the other exchanges like Smarkets and Matchbook, because sometimes there will not be a lot of liquidity for the weekend games, you can also look at Bookmakers as well, because you can back at Bookmakers and then look to lay them on the exchanges when there is the liquidity at the weekend. So yeah, this is a very good strategy and it's something to be aware of. Alright, that pretty much covers everything I wanted to talk about today. If you enjoyed this video or you learned something from it, please give it a like and subscribe to the channel, as that helps me. And you know, it enables me to keep making these type of videos which provide some value, hopefully, to those of you that want to make money from sports betting and trading. So yeah, thank you again for watching. See ya.